keeping in mind that gratitude is a gateway. It's kind of like a portal into our connection. And sometimes when we're on a journey of where we are to where we want to be, I have found that gratitude is a great connector between, it's like a bridge to get from where we are to where we want to be. And so I wanted to take you through a simple process where you can connect your head and your heart and you can activate gratitude, and that will help you just keep taking your steps one at a time as you walk yourself from where you are to where you want to be, whether you're on a healing journey, whether you're working on a piece of heart health for yourself, whether you're trying to upgrade your nutrition, whether you're trying to access more confidence in yourself, or another divine quality that you're building, trust, forgiveness, joy, and any of the qualities that we all have access to that aren't always a strong muscle yet until we start to build them. Gratitude is a wonderful gateway. So, the way to start, or the way I like to start, is I put my hands on my heart. And if you're in the grocery store, you can just put one hand on your heart, or however you want to do that. The key is that our awareness goes where we touch. And so the idea is to drop our awareness from our head to our heart. Now, our head never stops, so we don't have to worry about leaving our head out of the equation. But we do need to at least counterbalance with our awareness in our heart. So you just keep dropping your awareness to your heart. Your hands help because there's a sensation where we place our hands, and that sort of activates our awareness a little bit more. And then start slowing your breath down a little bit. So instead of the faster paced, sympathetic branch, fight or flight, way that we tend to operate all throughout our day, if you slow your breathing down, you activate the other part, or the other branch of the nervous system, the parasympathetic, and that is where all healing and all connection to our divinity and all sort of like gentle ordering of our mind, body, and life can happen. So you slow your breathing down, and if you want something very specific, the general rule of thumb is a breath in a count of five in through your nose, a count of five out through your mouth. So you're breathing in through your nose through a count of five, and out through your mouth a count of five. And honestly, I don't do that. I just noticeably slow my breathing down. I don't want to start counting. But if you just want to get a general idea of how it feels to slow your breath down by those counts of five, then you can play with that a little bit so that you can then just drop right into a slower breath with your awareness in your heart. So that's the second piece. Awareness in heart, slow breathing. And then the third piece is to access gratitude for something. It could be something that you just had an experience of. It could be a beautiful connection you had with, your grandchild, or someone you love, or a flower yesterday, and it really, really spoke up loudly to you. If you don't have anything you can access in terms of feeling gratitude while you're breathing and having your awareness in your heart, then look for something that you can be grateful for around, where you're sitting, whether it's, something you see out the window that's beautiful. It's really hard to look at nature and not feel gratitude. At least that's my experience. The beauty of a tree, or the beauty of a particular color that happens to be around me, I can easily find gratitude for that. And honestly, some days, some moments are easier to access gratitude than others. And so if you might even want to build in your mind's eye, mind's awareness, a list of things that are easy for you to feel gratitude for, so that that's an easy reach for you when you're accessing gratitude. So when you combine a head-heart connection with a slower breath, because that activates the parasympathetic nervous system, with the feeling of gratitude in your body, then you have an alignment that's quite powerful, and it's a gateway to a deeper connection to your wisdom, to your intelligence, to your body's capacity to heal, to your intention, to your sacred self, to your heart coming into rhythm. It's a big entry point, and so that's why I call it a gateway. So play with that over time, and and maybe it's something you love enough that you'll do it a lot, like forevermore, as many times throughout the day as you can. And if you're sitting in a meeting or you're not somewhere where you want to do this big display of breath and hand to heart or whatever, which I totally get, then just do it in your own self. You can just tap your heart. There's a little leftover vibration when we tap our heart center, and that vibration will give you that sensation, and that make it a little easier for you to drop into that awareness of your heart. And if you can, you'll find your way with this. The key is start with the basics, and then your own inner wisdom will tell you and guide you. And it probably won't be exactly the same every time, but let her show you what your ways are. And I think there was something. Oh, here's the other thing I wanted to give you. Yeah, so the idea of there's two things here. The idea of using gratitude as a gateway is so that we don't get ahead of ourselves when we're trying to take one step at a time towards an intention we have, because that's something that we tend to do as humans, is wanting to get ahead of ourselves. We leave our present moment, we leave our being, our embodiment. And then the other thing is to not be stuck with where we are, because sometimes we want to be moving, and sometimes it's easy to get stuck. So we want to be moving, we want to be engaged, we want to be feeling the inspiration from our heart and our soul to do what there is to do next, to take what there is to take next as a step. And that is right movement and right action. And that's the opposite of being stuck. So these gratitude gateways can tend to facilitate us not getting stuck in those two places. And then the very last thing that I would love to offer you is something that I say to myself all day long. And there's a sense of serenity that comes over me when I say this. And so what I say is divine love. So I'm addressing divine love. So it's kind of like I'm addressing a letter. Divine love, comma. And then the letter is this. The request is this. Thank you for gently ordering my mind, body, steps, and life. And see how you feel when you say that. There's an invitation to divine love, which she answers almost instantaneously. That's my experience. There's a comfort and a serenity to it. And there's a broader aspect to trust than I had before. And I'm always trying to increase my capacity to trust, because, the human side of ourselves as humans have a hard time trusting. So I'm always looking for ways to bridge the gap between the divine part of myself, which trusts fully, and the human part of myself, which has a harder time trusting. And so this idea of divine love, thank you for gently ordering my mind, body, steps, and life. It just kind of keeps that trust energy and that gratitude energy and that capacity of staying connected to my sacred self open and connected. So play with that stuff and tell me how it goes for you. And until the next time we meet, Lori Morse signing off.